Hi, I'm Christine Smalley, founder of Embellished, a jewellery designer and educator, and I'm passionate about jewellery making. I started making jewellery when I was 8, so over 30 years ago now, and I really enjoy showing others how accessible jewellery making is. So whether I inspire you to continue that journey or to start a creative journey today, that is my aim. So I'm going to show you just how accessible jewellery making is, and just to give you some few tips on how you can make really incredible pieces of jewellery that look like a designer has made it. The projects are instant grat. They only use a few materials and they're basically glued together. They're not as intricate as my earrings, which have got really small stones which have been glued onto the stampings. We are using the same glue, so we're using an araldite glue, but I'll show you just how you can create more instant grat projects by using stones, but just a single stone, and also using charms, so just a single charm to create a statement piece. And before I show you that, here's another example of what you can do. I won't be showing you this today, but essentially it's a 60s belt buckle, and I have glued a frame, so something like this that fits the stone, using araldite, and then I've put a layer of chain around the stone just to give it more of an uber embellished look. So I talked about araldite. It's a 2-part epoxy glue, so you need to mix that together thoroughly. Once it's mixed, you can then start embellishing. And what are we embellishing today? Well, the first thing we'll embellish is a bead. So it's a trapezoid check glass bead. It's drilled through. And I have a beautiful feather. It's brass, leather, nickel free. So I'm going to just use the glue and put that down the spine of the feather. So you don't want it all over the surface, just in the middle. So when you press it down onto the bead, the glue's not oozing everywhere. So I'll put that aside. And my next project, I'm using a cuff as a base. I'm using a frame that fits a stone. So it's flat on the back, has a curved surface that's smooth. That will be glued into this frame and then onto this amazing filigree brass stamping. Okay, so let's start step by step. Let's get some glue onto this. Okay, we're going to stick that on a diagonal. And then again, like the feather, we only want the glue in the middle of the stone. And then stick that onto the frame. Just press it down. So then the glue is sort of oozing to the sides but not leaking out around the sides. And then we're going to stick that on top. So let's just put a bit of glue onto the back of this frame. So give a nice amount there. Always again in the middle. And we'll stick that on there. So what are we going to end up doing with this embellished feather bead? I already had a tassel. It's a vintage tassel. So I've connected the tassel to a pin that is threaded through the bead, and then I've just added a couple of beads at the top. So that will make a really amazing pendant. And then the cuff will work really well as a standalone statement as well. Thanks for joining me today for this video tutorial. I hope I've inspired you. So just remember, it doesn't have to be really that complicated. You can just work with one embellishment and one stone, one embellishment and one cuff. You don't have to make something as intricate as my earrings that I'll show you a close-up now.